Hey y'all. Am I recording? Y'all, I never know. Yes, I am. Let's try this again. Hey y'all. Welcome back to TITA Takes. I am back with a new video. So I recently watched, just randomly, I had a lazy weekend at home and I was on Twitter and one of my favorite podcasters, her name is Crystal, and she hosts the podcast This Is the Read. She posted something, she tweeted something like, sort of is a fantastic show, or sort of is an amazing new show. And I love Crystal, I love The Read, it's by far my favorite podcast, so I just had to look it up. And I watched it. Couldn't have agreed more with Crystal, so glad I watched it. And in the same day that I watched Sort of, I also binge watched the show Sex Lives of College Girls, both on hbomax. I didn't watch the shows knowing that I was going to make a review video about them. I didn't know before going in that they were both created and written by South Asian people. So I was like, this is the perfect opportunity. I get to talk about two South Asian television creators, talk about their work, the impact of their work, and featured it on my channel. So I'm really excited to tell you all about the show Sort of and the Sex Lives of College Girls. Before we get started though, if you haven't yet subscribed to my channel, please go ahead and do that right now. Just on the bottom, I guess that's your right, my left. Go ahead and click subscribe. And also don't forget to turn on your notifications so that you know every time I drop a new video and you're not late to the game. So let's start with Sort of. Sort of is a show by writer slash actor slash creator Bilal Baik. I'm so sorry if I'm saying your name wrong. Bilal Baik. Bilal has made history by being first South Asian queer Muslim actor writer to star in a primetime Canadian television show, which is very exciting. They were most known for the 2018 play Acha Bacha, which explored the intersections between queerness, gender identity, and Islamic culture in the Pakistani diaspora. Bilal's newest project is the television show that I'm here to talk to you about called Sort of, originally a Canadian television show but currently streaming on hbomax. Sort of is centered on the life of a non-binary, trans-feminine, Pakistani-American character named Sabi. Bilal actually, along with being the creator and writer of the show, stars as the main character. And, you know, this is very reminiscent of Issa Rae and Insecure, Mindy Kaling of Mindy Project, and Michaela Cole and I Might Destroy You. If you know anything about me, you know that Mindy Kaling, Michaela Cole, and Issa Rae are my career crushes. So, you know, when I found out that the star of this show is also the creator, is also the writer, I just knew I was going to be this person's biggest fan. So I was so excited to read about that. In the 8-episode series, you get to watch Sabi as they grapple with their identity. You get to go on a journey of self-discovery with Sabi through their relationships with their mother, their sexual partners, and ultimately with their identity and themselves. In the show, Sabi has 2 part-time jobs. Their day job is nannying for a family of 4, and their evening job, their nighttime job, is a bartender at an LGBTQ bar downtown. In the pilot, Sabi is this close to moving to Berlin with their non-binary friend named Seven when the mother of the family that they nanny for gets into a really bad accident, and Sabi's life takes a bit of a turn as they stay in town to help with the kids. And, you know, you get to see a little bit of Sabi's decision making. At the beginning, we're trying to figure out why they would stay, and by the end, you know exactly why. In a world of in-your-face television shows like Marvel and, you know, Squid Game, which is all the rage right now, this show Sort of is literally on the opposite end of the spectrum. I would like to compare it to I May Destroy You as being similar in the sense of storytelling and character development for the main character, but it's also very different from I May Destroy You in its subtlety. So if you are a fan of subtle storytelling, this might be the most low-key show that I've really enjoyed recently, and I didn't realize that that was something that I needed until I watched it. Coming off of, like I said, Squid Game, which is it's just so in your face, sort of. Is so beautifully subtle and hilarious in the most low-key sense. Bilal's performance as Sabi, it's like if you don't pay attention, you don't get it. Like there's so many subtle, hilarious moments that they share, and I miss watching television that grabs your attention not through shock value, but through like genuine, like I want to understand this character, and this character is funny as hell, so I'm gonna pay attention. Like I don't think I picked up my phone a single time during watching this show, which is like we have this attention span of a goldfish, okay? Like isn't that what the scientists say? I don't know. Is that even measurable? I don't know. I really appreciate good writing and good storytelling. This show takes issues that are often used as hot button, right? So gayness, trans life, racial differences, interracial relationship, and treats those issues as just everyday life occurrences, right? Just like the most banal way. And what's so refreshing about that is that they don't treat these subjects as shocking anymore. I think Canada being Canada trans life, the existence of trans people is regular. It's no longer like a big hush hush like thing. It is what it is. There's something so refreshing about just like, can we stop coming to terms and just be? Does that make sense? That's why shows like Insecure is so refreshing, right? Because you watch all these shows of the Black struggle and movies and shows about slavery and overcoming the odds and stuff like that. But Insecure is a show where like Black people are just being Black and living their life. And like that's what's so great about Sort of. It's this trans feminine, non-binary person who's just living their trans feminine, non-binary life. And that's it. And there's something so extraordinary about that. One thing that I found really interesting about the show, besides the stuff that I already mentioned, is the title of the name, Sort of. I'm always really fascinated by the titles of names and books and movies and trying to figure out why it was named that. I mean, basically, it's, a few words to encapsulate a 8-part TV show or a 2-hour-long movie or a 400-page book. And it's like, how does the author, the creator, decide on these words? And Sort of is such an unconventional name of something, because it sounds as if they whatever, sort of, like, kinda, like, it's so indefinite and it's so up in the air, it's so ambiguous, and that is literally what this show is about. Sabi as a character doesn't really define themselves in definites, and they go by pronouns they, them, and they're a nanny by day and a bartender by night. They are. And it's not just Sabi who kind of lives in this gray area. Seven, also, Sabi's best friend, is a non-binary mixed race person. The kids are mixed race. Aksa, who is Sabi's sister, lives in between, living her life as a Canadian in the Western world while also trying to stay rooted in her traditional Pakistani roots. I don't want to give too much away about Sabi's mother, but Sabi's mother is also trying to cross the line into the Western world. And when you watch the show, you realize how complicated each character's life is. And the name of the show being Sort of fits every single character, and it also fits every person. Instead of categorizing ourselves in binaries, in black and white, there's something more honest about not boxing yourself in, because once you categorize yourself, once you put yourself in a box, that thing completely defines who you are. And I think as human beings, we're a lot more complicated than that. And I think it does us good to become comfortable in the gray, become comfortable with things not being as black and white or right or wrong, because life is so complicated. And just like Sabi, we're all just trying to figure it out as we go. And the more we leave ourselves open to who we are, what we like, what we do, the better off we'll be, because I think openness is really important as we progress as a society. It's just so refreshing to see a show created by someone like Bilal, who's up and coming but also lives within various intersections. And yeah, I'm tired of watching shows about rich white people. Okay? That's about it. Sex Lives of College Girls is another show. I think I binged them on the same day, which is absolutely crazy. I just had a Saturday in and I just binged both of these shows. Sex Lives focuses on 4 freshman college roommates at the fictional Essex College, a prestigious private school in Vermont. Bella, played by Amrit Kaur, an Indian American, tells her parents she's studying molecular biology, but comes to college with 2 crystal clear ambitions: to become the next Seth Meyers and to have tons of sex. Kimberly, played by Pauline Chalamet, yes, that Chalamet, is an extremely sheltered young woman on financial aid who's saving herself for her boyfriend from back home in small-town Arizona. Layton, played by Renee Rapp, is aggressively white in different ways. She graduated from Manhattan private school Spence and is still closeted as she pursues upward social mobility and sorority rush. And Whitney, played by Aaliyah Chanel, is a black senator's daughter and star soccer player who's having an affair with her married adult coach. Mess, okay? It is genuinely hilarious, but also tackles some pretty complicated storylines as well. It does a really great job of balancing the real with the funny. Although there is really real complicated storylines, I definitely would say that this TV show still leans on the lighthearted, still leans on the funny whenever it can, because, you know, it knows what it is, you know? It's a comedy at the end of the day. My favorite thing about this show is that I'm just relieved to watch a show that's about sex, that's not centered on the lives of high school students, okay? I don't know what it is in the last, maybe decade. I don't really know. I just threw that number out there. But, shows like Sex Education and Euphoria, and even that show Block on Netflix, they make me uncomfortable, okay? I feel like they should make everyone uncomfortable. There's something kind of about it, you know what I'm saying? Although Sex Education is hands down one of the best shows I've watched in a long time, so I don't take that away from them. It's just, I feel better watching a show that's about sex featuring adults, you know? Especially the Black. They're 14 and 15, so watching them, they're played by adults, but still, if you're developing a show about sex, please 18 and older, even if the actors are 30, I don't care. If they are playing minors, I do not want them to have sex on screen. It's weird. It's weird, okay? So I really like that about the show. It's less cringe in that way. All of the characters represent real people that you would meet in college, like the athlete with the famous parent, or the super sheltered from the middle of nowhere Midwest girl, and then the super funny, career ambitious, sex positive girl, and then the really conservative, comes from money, kind of right leaning girl as well. So you're all 4 of these girls of different backgrounds are pushed into living in one dorm room. And as a college freshman myself, I had that experience of living with a roommate who was very different from myself, and it didn't last long. Okay, I'm not gonna get into that. It's just interesting and really funny to see these girls kind of live their lives, and it's very nostalgic in that sense. The character I most identify with is definitely not Whitney. It's definitely Kimberly, if you can imagine. Okay. Kimberly is the super not conservative, but she's very sheltered, and I also was very sheltered. I walked into college completely innocent. Not to say that I'm not, but I got corrupted very quickly, okay? And like Kimberly, I feel like I'm not giving it away. There's no spoilers, okay? But you know, Kimberly being sheltered kind of came into college a little naive and distracted. She kind of wilds out a little bit, you know, as did I. But her grades dropped because she's distracted by parties and boys and this and that. And I definitely got my worst GPA. One of my worst GPAs, my freshman year, my first exam, I got a D on it. I dropped the class, of course, retook it, got an A. It's okay, I got my life together. That's all that matters. Ultimately, watching this show, you'll definitely identify at least partly with one of the characters, but really what I came here to talk about is the genius of Mindy Kaling, okay? Can we just talk about it? Can we just talk about it? Okay, Mindy Kaling might be the most underrated person in entertainment, period. This woman's resume is insane. I read her book, It's Everyone Hanging Out Without Me, back in like 2013. And I didn't know much about Mindy Kaling at the time, and I don't even know why I watched it, because I didn't even watch The Office or anything back then. It wasn't until maybe like 2014-15 that I really got into The Office. But I was like, who is this girl, South Asian girl, is doing things in Hollywood? Like, I need to know her. I need to get to know her and what she does. And reading the book, her beginnings are freaking hilarious. Her imposter syndrome, same, okay? Very, very relatable content. But if we just talk about her writing credits, let me pull it up. And her acting credits, and her directorial credits at that. Okay, hold on, let me pull it up. She started as an intern on the Conan O'Brien show, okay? At the age of 24, she was casted in the role of Kelly Kapoor. Fabulous Kelly Kapoor in The Office. She was in 40-Year-Old Virgin. She basically wrote every episode of The Office, also directed them, also starred in them. But wait, she was also in Curb Your Enthusiasm. She was also in It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, two of the funniest shows to ever been created. Actually, three, including The Office, okay? Can't forget that. She was the creator, the writer, the producer, and the star of her own show called The Mindy Project, okay? She co-created Never Have I Ever, which is now streaming on Netflix, Monsters at Work, whatever that is, and The Sex Lives of College Girls, which is the show that we're talking about right now. This woman has a decorated resume, and she is only 42 years old. I am such a big fan of Mindy Kaling. Can we just all give her like a collective round of applause? Like, where are her awards? This woman is killing it in the game, and we do not talk about it enough. Mindy, you are one of my career crush. You are top 5, okay? And keep doing the damn thing. I am just such a huge fan of her work. So I just wanted to take this time to just celebrate Mindy Kaling, also Bilal Baig, these two shows, sort of, and Sex Lives of College Girls. Celebrate 2 South Asian creators in this space in a very underrepresented, diverse industry that is entertainment. Call them out, celebrate that, and encourage more people to come out and break through this industry, create their own things, their own lanes, and tell the stories that they want to see, because I want to hear it, I want to watch it, I want to read it, I want to learn about it. So that's it for this video. I'm just going to cut myself off right there. If you were intrigued by any information I shared about the shows, I highly recommend you check them out. Why don't you go ahead and subscribe right now if you haven't yet. Turn on your notifications. Go ahead and turn this off right now after you subscribe. Okay, turn it off and go on HBO and stream these shows because they're so funny. Okay, I am so sincerely grateful. Thank you for watching. To the next video.